Freemasons tracking me.
Alright boys, you ready? Let's start with that. So we get the three
Hiding behind their fucking power.
Thieves and pedophiles.
Hiding behind the power.
That's right.
Yeah, take me out.
Alright, Yama. Can everyone say Yama? Yama in our language, we are Budgety Murawari people from northwestern New South Wales. That's our tribal land. We are a no. Let me explain why we are a no. We are saying no to this referendum because we have not put this agenda on the table. We are saying no to this referendum because non-Indigenous people don't get to have a say over First Nations people. We have a say over our own lives, over our own country. We are sovereign First Nations people. That dance that we just did just now is called the Barta dance. That's about us, how we hunt, we gather, how we put food on the table for our families and our future generation. So we're going to show you today our way as tribal First Nations people, what we mean when we say that we are sovereign. We have our own laws, we have our own customs, we have our own traditions. The expectation is for you as non-Indigenous people to start walking with us, start speaking with us, start sitting with us. Because we want our future generations to be able to sit with your future generations, to learn your language, your culture, your customs and your traditions. That is the epitome of beauty of life. So this dance, next dance we're going to do is the Gulbri dance, the emu hunting.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please? All the way from Angonia, Lightning Ridge, Brewarrina, Burke, and they've come here as Aboriginal Australians saying no. Can you please thank the brothers from Western New South Wales? Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the benefit of Mick Jagger, and he's going to give us the trumpet for the Australian National Anthem, supported by Amal, who's been Ananda, who's been singing jazz opera. She's a Blue Mountains ambassador for the City of the Arts. She's been making her own records, and Ananda and Mick are going to take it away with the Australian national anthem, the most important song in the repertoire, and we hope that you will join them.
Yama! Yama, everyone! I would like to acknowledge the land on which we're on. I want to acknowledge 500 plus nations across this great continent of ours. I want to acknowledge the Eora Nation, the land of the Gadigal people. The Eora Nation extends to the Osprey, goes west to the Nepean, south to the Royal National Park, Wollongong. I want to acknowledge the Darug people, the Dharawal, the Bidjigal, the Gandangara, all those nations, all those clans within this nation. I want to acknowledge the people that lived on this land for over 80,000 years. 80,000 years of wisdom and knowledge that our old people have kept and passed down. I want to also acknowledge 200 plus language groups that lived and sustained this land for over 80,000 plus years. We must remember that under this concrete and stone, this is and always will be the original people's land. I want to also acknowledge my brothers and sisters that come from across the sea. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
United we stand, my family.
Yep.
Amen. Well, it's great to have you with you. Great to have you with us. We're exercising a very ancient right, which is peacefully to gather and to express our concerns and grievances. You know, these brothers have been with here for many thousands of years, but certainly this right of peaceful assembly is as old as the Magna Carta. And there were those who said to us, oh, look, maybe you shouldn't rally, maybe you shouldn't get together. And, you know, some even sought to intimidate us not to gather, not to express our sentiment. But once, in effect, you know, the Sydney Morning Herald, Channel 7 and The Guardian had said, don't gather for a rally, we thought, well, now we have to gather for a rally. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got, this today is really more about you, you know, than it is about us. My name's Ross Cameron. I'm a recovering former politician. And I'm actually your MC. I was just walking through the park and I saw a crowd beginning to gather. And as every recovering former politician does, when he sees a crowd, there's only one thought in his mind: there must be a microphone somewhere, right? So we've got a few who are still in full addiction of being politicians who are going to say something today. We've got a mixed group, and in effect the stage represents a mixture of the crowd, which is as it should be in a democracy. We've got black fellas and white fellas. We've got different political parties. I'm from the New South Wales Liberal Democrats, as is our first speaker and the original sort of champion of the idea, John Ruddock, who's going to get up in just a moment. We've got the United Australia Party with Craig Kelly, and we've got Tanya Mihalik from Pauline Hanson's One Nation. We're going to hear from Senator Malcolm Roberts, all of them briefly. But the point we want to make is that ultimately we're just Australians.
No, you're not.
And we are Australians exercising our democratic right to vote no. And we are a group of people who actually, by temperament and personality, we're a group of people who usually prefer to say yes. And as a group, we say yes to Indigenous Australia, we say yes to the advancement of Aboriginal people, but we say no to this daft, expensive, bureaucratic voice coming out of Canberra. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why a person might vote no. You know, I spent a fabulous day with Bruce Shillingsworth and his mob yesterday. He's voting no for different reasons than me, but he says, well mate, if you're voting no, we're all in the same camp. I'm happy to stand side by side with you. We may disagree about why we're voting no, but one thing we know for sure is we are voting no. So we've asked the politicians to try and keep their remarks nice and tight, sweeter than that. We're going to have a bang. We might have one or two.
Because like they've done it in the past, they've done
but ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the bloke whose sort of idea it was for us to gather together today to assert our right to peaceful democratic assembly. The Honourable John Ruddock, MLC, Liberal Democrat, New South Wales Parliament.
Right to stay here, Baron.
Thank you, Ross. You know, ladies and gentlemen, last weekend there was a rally for the Yes campaign, and it's been widely reported that there was no Australian flags, but there was also no Aboriginal smoking ceremony or corroboree. So I'd like to very much thank our First Nations people to come down here, and what it demonstrates is there's a lot of Aboriginal people here. It shows you how silly it is to think that one voice can speak for so many disparate people. Now, you might have seen that the polls aren't going too well for the Yes campaign, and we've been told that they're not going well because of racism and stupidity, and Donald Trump got blamed at one point. Vladimir Putin, of course, got blamed as well. I'm still waiting for long COVID and global boiling to be blamed. But I think the reason why the No campaign is doing a lot better than the Yes campaign is, you know, in 1967 this country had a referendum, and over 90% of people voted in favour of Aboriginal equality. But now what Anthony Albanese wants to do is, he wants to set up a two-class structure in this country. Now, we believe very much in what Martin Luther King said almost 60 years ago today. We believe people should be judged by the content of their character and not the colour of their skin. We thought that issue had been resolved 60 years ago, and for some reason, you know, the Labor Party's put up this will be the Labor Party's 25th referendum since 1901. They've lost 24, and they thought it was a good idea. They thought it was a good idea to have another referendum about a racial issue which has divided the country, and that is not a good thing. And I would like to also say that, you know, Peter Dutton and the Liberal Party They took a year to work out that they don't want to support this voice. Okay, and we appreciated that they supported, but they did take a year, which was typical weakness from the Liberal Party. But then Peter Dutton says, look, he's voting no on this occasion. He wants to have another referendum. And he's not getting the message. And now he wants to set up regional voices. So I'd like to thank all of you people coming along here today. It's a great turnout and it's a great message, and let's all vote no on the 14th of October. Thank you.
It's hard to give everyone everything they want all the time. That's the challenge of democracy, is how do we make these decisions but still stay united as one people, as one nation. One of the blokes who has led the charge on behalf of citizens and citizen freedom is Tony Nikolic. He's come down today from Queensland, but we love him nonetheless. He's a lawyer, but more than that, in his heart, he's a guy who wants to defend those who are being oppressed. Where he sees injustice, he wants to see it remedied. And for that reason, I've got an enormous amount of respect for him. I'm delighted he's been able to join us today. Will you please welcome Tony Nikolic?
Thank you, Ross.
Thanks, Margaret.
Just like to say thank you to everybody that's come out, and certainly for our Aboriginal friends and First Nations people who have taken the time to come down and pay respects to what this democracy is all about. The Voice is a transitioning time for all of us. It is a part of our time that we're going to have to stand up, because beyond this, once it becomes constitutionalised, we've got no working back.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to hold this spot.
Now we need to stand up, each and every one of you, like we do on a daily basis, and as we do, because when you're defending a democracy, you're defending each and every one of you right next to you right now. And that's what it takes. It takes courage. Each and every one of you has that courage within you, and you need to embrace that courage, because this country was forged and came about because of all those people before us, and we need to continue that so we can all work together and keep this country the great country it is, and it'll continue to be working forward. But we cannot do that if we don't stick together and we stick with our brothers and sisters. And to Bruce and Glenda and everyone, thank you very much, and we pay our respects to each and every one of you, because as I've travelled this great nation, I know from my heart I've done pro bono cases for deaths in custody, we've done incarcerations, and we do that because we pay respects. I don't know them, but I know them in my spirit, and that's what we need to do. We have that spirit. It is a powerful spirit, and we need to embrace that spirit and enhance our courage. I can't do it on my own, and they certainly can't do it on their own, but each and every one of you can embrace that spirit, and we can make this country what it's supposed to be, and that is an open, participatory democracy where you all get a say. Absolutely. God bless Australia and each and every one of you, and thank you, because when that time comes, it's up to each and every one of you. Don't look at the person next to you. What are you going to do? Because that's what this is about. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony. Well, as discussed, the Shillingsworth family made a pretty big effort today. They've gathered the family, the mob together. We're grateful for what they've done. Bruce Senior and I, we don't agree on everything, but we do agree we're Australian citizens and we've got a common cause today, and so we want to hear the different voices. Whether we agree with each other or not on the details, we agree on the result. Can you please welcome Bruce Shillingsworth Senior?
Yamba, everyone. Look, I just want to thank those for being here today. I want to thank those for standing up for this evil regime that's going on, not just here but across the world. I want to stand here at this freedom rally for the freedom of all people. We're here for our children and our children's children. We're here, we are saying no to the voice, we are saying no to the genocide, we are saying no to the incarceration, we are saying no to the stolen generation, and we are saying no to the dictatorship.
And no to the vaccine.
I want to stand with my non-Indigenous brothers and sisters who now live on this great continent of ours. We have a window of opportunity in world history to now make a difference. We are the difference, and we are the change. We are going to make that change. I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, that we have a common enemy here. That common enemy is out to destroy your lives, and they're out there to destroy our Mother Earth.
Yes.
And now it's not about the numbers. It's about the people that are telling the truth. I am here to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. The truth will set you free. Now, someone asked for the truth. There is 97% are going to be voting for the 3%. So that makes it the 97 non-Indigenous voice. Where is my voice? Where is my people's voice? Where is the 200 plus nations voice? Where are those voices of the people that lives in the remote communities? Where are those people that lives here in the city that knows nothing about the voice? We need to now start to wake up. Wake up and see what this tyranny that's going on in this country. Wake up to the government that are operating fraudulently on this land.
I mean, no.
Like I said, we've got to be collective. This is about us now. This is about us. We are the change. We are the light. We are all on a journey. And I believe that we will reach our destination. There's an old ancient prophecy that said one day we will meet every tribe, nations and tongues. We will come together in truth. We will come together in a huge corroboree. It's a gathering of people and I can see it on the horizon. Let us join forces. Let us unite. My freedom lies in your freedom. Your freedom lies in my freedom. It is time to set this country free. It is time to make those that are doing the injustice, we've got to make them accountable.
Yes. Hang them all.
Let us stand in truth. Let us stand together in solidarity. Let us stand in unity. Let's stand as a family. Let's stand as a community. Let's stand together as a nation. Like I said, the voice is not a revolution. We are the revolution. We are the revolution. They know that we're coming. They are now shaking in their shoes, they're shaking in their boots, they're shaking in their office, they're shaking in Parliament because they know, look who's coming. We are coming as the true living men and women and family of this world. Look, I can't talk too long. I know there's other people are lined up and I know you listen all day. But listen to this. The only way forward is we walk together. The only way forward is we will all hands together and walk side by side. There is no more of this walking in front of the other person. There's no more that non-Indigenous will stand in front of us. It's about together. Now, just one more thing. My sister over here, she booed when the national anthem went. Disrespectful. She said it's disrespectful. Now, there's a big issue. My sister, that's what we need to fix. We need to create a new constitution. We need to create a new anthem. We need to create a new flag that will represent all of us. Let the freedom reign in the mountain. Let the freedom reign in the valley. Let the freedom reign in our thoughts. Let freedom sing across this great nation of ours. We are here, we are the change, we are the light, and we'll make a difference. Thank you, everyone.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most famous, respected and revered Indigenous Australians, known everywhere, Auntie Glenda, Nunja. Please welcome Auntie Glenda.
Oh, look who it is.
Welcome everybody. My name is Glenda Merritt and Glenda is Nullinja. I'm from Yass and I'm a Ngunnawal tribal sovereign and I'm a living woman, and there's a reason why I say living, because I'm not a corpse, a dead entity. That's how they box us in. So I have a voice. Can you hear me? Yes. I'm here today because I have a duty of care for humanity. I'm not affiliated with any political party. I don't receive any donations. I do it from the heart for a better life for myself, my family, and I do it for all Australians. It's time for real change. Yes. Be the change. Stand up and do what's right for all of us. We've got to do it together. We are many voices coming together. Thank you for coming today to hear all of us speak. It's all about our concerns, about the voice in Parliament. My voice has been echoing non-stop for 3+ years about child abduction, child abuse, about the pedophilia, raising awareness the best way possible. We haven't stopped. We are continuing to do it on all these platforms. I have no fear. I do it for the children. We're here for the children. You know, I travelled to Canberra, started with Muckaduck Camp. We had an epic camp. We had a library camp. Travelling around the country, we're all uniting together for the same purpose, because we all want to belong. We're all sovereigns. That's going to unite us. That too. So I want to talk about some really important documents I have on my hands here. This document is a charge sheet and summons, which on the 26th of January last year, 2022, I personally delivered to the Governor-General David Hurley and Scott Morrison face to face. They've been crickets ever since.
Proudly, this message was proudly brought to you by Samson from the People's Communist Republic of Danangistan.
Charges against all these politicians. I'll read their names. Scott Morrison, David Hurley, Margaret Beasley, Linda Deschaux, Hu Van Lee, Kate Warner, Paul DeJosie, Janet Young, Kim Beasley, Gladys Berejiklian, Dominic Perrottet, Dan Andrews,
Hey guys, Rukshan here.
Every day, every
Hope you guys can hear me.
We travelled
Testing 1, 2, 3.
here in Sydney, the freedom fighters, outside the Australian Press Conference, travelled to Adelaide, Melbourne, Queensland, Darwin, all around New South Wales. We've been using our voices, constantly raising these really concerns about what's going on in our Parliament House. So much fraud, corruption. I'm going to read the list of it. Corruption. These are the charges. Treason, child abduction and abuse. Using a statutory system
Hey man, how you doing, man?
crimes against we
Good
the
to see you.
people. Criminal coercion. Uttering, which means using forgery and creating
Yeah man,
forged
what's happening, bro?
documents and using them against
Oh, MCG report. Hey brother, what's happening?
Say
hi. But he's around here, man.
perjury.
I think you're coming up.
I'm
Sydney George Morgan.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll say hello.
Yeah, man.
Child trafficking.
I'll leave you to it.
Thanks, bro.
We are not going to stop talking about this until we get justice.
Hey man, how are you?
I was watching this interview a couple of days ago.
Ah, there you go.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, brother.
Do your job.
Thanks, man.
Phrase, it's really interesting. It's called notice to agent is notice to principal.
Hey guys,
Notice to principal is notice
Rukshan
to
here,
agent.
coming to you guys live from Sydney here in Hyde Park, and just live streaming this worldwide freedom rally.
Notice to agent.
Vote no to the voice.
Maximum, which means at the highest level. That means
Hey man, what's happening?
an agent has authorised an act on behalf of the principal and given notice to the agent, it is considered to having been given to the principal and vice versa. So what that means is we have been serving judicial notices all over Australia. And it says on this form, notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent, which means all these people on these documents, they have a duty of care. And if they don't serve these documents, share them with all their staff and all the politicians in Parliament, they're all up for treason. It's treasonous if they don't listen to us, the people. We're sick of serving documents. We're sick of testing the courthouses. It's time they need to act and listen. We want ears for them to listen to us. We don't need a voice.
Hey.
We need ears. Not only that, there's many other charges I want to read out. There is no queen known as Queen of Australia, who was crowned as successor to Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II. So we don't have a Queen of Australia. The Governor-General has not been appointed by the Queen of UK. There's no letters patent, and it's not made available to the public. Count 18 of the charges. Every member of Parliament is
Hey guys, can you tell me in the comments if you can hear my voice?
to the foreign power under the UN Foreign Investment and United States Security Exchange Commission, which is in Washington, D.C. They're a registered corporation. So they're not legally able to, put jurisdictions on us.
Thank you. Thanks for confirming.
Failure to keep in line with Section 51 and provide peace, order and good government. This is not a matter of opinion. As a country is
So I think my mic's working, guys. So just wanted to take you around the grounds here just to show you this rally, worldwide freedom rally in Sydney. It's happening across the country in different spots.
Should I wind up?
And it's about, with the current issue that's happening in our country, October 14th, we have the referendum vote. And this rally is themed around voting no. So we're having some speakers here. I'll get some of the speakers again soon. I'm just going around to show you guys what's happening here. It's very peaceful gathering, obviously. Let's get a shot of these guys. They got a nice stop. Yeah, nah, vote no. Hey guys, how are you doing? A lot of families here. A lot more Australian flags here than what we saw last week during the the Yes rallies. A lot of different flags, a lot of different signs. But I'll do another walk around soon. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea. Crowd size.
Judicial system is controlled by the corporation.
Let's have a look.
Rules is not as...
Probably like 400, 500 maybe people here at the moment.
It's so rigged that we are guilty. We have to prove our innocence. So that's the system. That's the systemic system, is that
Just get some of
it's
these
a
signs.
revenue. It's all about money. They're trafficking us for money through revenue. They're trafficking us, and they're using the monetary system through revenue out of our pain and suffering. Come and talk to me later. Thank you.
We're very grateful to TNT Radio.live. They're live streaming this whole event. It's going out all over the world. We've got with us Dean McKim. He's the afternoon show host right after Chris Smith. And since TNT is the wings that are carrying our message to the world, can you please welcome Dean McKim?
How are we, Sydney? Alright, I'm going to start off with a confession. I used to work in the mainstream media, and before you boo me, I was the guy that kept getting the sack. Why? How do you get the sack if you work in the mainstream media, people? What do? You tell the truth. Jack Nicholson said it. They can't handle the truth, and they really can't, can they? If you speak the truth, they come after you, and I think we're all fed up. Hands up anyone who still pays any attention to the mainstream media. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? We're just not going to do it. We've woken up, we've moved on. They are now designated to be that lame stream media. People like Tucker Carlson and that, they've taken it to a whole new level. If we want to find the truth, where do we have to go these days? The internet. And what are they going to do, people? They're going to introduce a bill, a misinformation, a disinformation bill. They will decide what is it true and what isn't true, and we will have to abide by that. The big streaming companies, the social media companies are going to have to decide what we can and what we can't stomach, what we can and can't believe. And I'll tell you what, let's say a big resounding no to that. On the count of three, let's Albo lives at Marrickville. Let's make it so he can hear this. On the count of three, a big no. 1, 2, 3. No! Oh, Sydney, that was good. I think we can do better. I think Albo's ears might have just picked that up. One more time. 1, 2, 3. No! And now we're going to do one more better. We're going to do a hell no. All right, are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Hell no! Oh yeah, we're voting no. I'm going to tell you a little story. You know, in my 20s, not a guy that, you know, knew too many people, wasn't confident, never could have done this, couldn't have done politics, couldn't have done radio. And I moved from Marrickville out to a suburb called Glendenning. I went to a karaoke out there run by a couple of Indigenous New Zealanders, a couple of Maori blokes named Carl and Rudy. And I'd be there sitting in the crowd. I didn't want to get up. I was going to sing. Didn't want to do that. And one night, these two boys, one of them I'd become friends with, "Get up, Dino, don't be a pussy," is what they said. And I get up there and it changed my life. Why am I telling you this story? Because that was when I became friends with these two terrific Indigenous people of New Zealand. You hang around people that are cool. You hang around people that are of family. I've got one of them here right now. He's my brother. And if you do that, you become a better person. You become a bigger person. You realise growing up in Marrickville, we don't care what race, what colour, you're just a bunch of mates. What a terrific bloke, you know, Greg is. What a terrific bloke Gary is. What a terrific, you know, Sheila Michelle is. And that's what we are here in Australia. We are one, and we won't be divided, will we, Sydney? No! We're not going to let them do that. Absolutely. And I'm just going to say one thing, and I will give a shameless plug to TNT Radio. After getting sacked a few times for telling the truth, I got fed up. And there was one place you could go where you could listen. You can turn it on of an afternoon, you can hear Chris Smith. You can hear people like Jim Ball, Alan Jones, all the people that have been pushed out of the mainstream media. Remember Ian McRae from back in the 70s? He's on there as well. We get Craig Kelly on. We get all these terrific people that are on TNT radio, and I implore you to download the app to get it, because you still can get truth in the media. You can get some real truth, but you've got to go looking for it, and that's what we're all about. One more time, let's do it for Albo. 1, 2, 3. No! And one more, hell no. 1, 2, 3. Hell no! All right, I'm going to hand you back to Ross, and he's going to introduce our next guest.
Hey! Ricky Powell has written an absolutely beautiful song. He's going to give it to us on the guitar. He might have one or two helpers. I think it's poetry. I think you're going to enjoy it. Can you please welcome Ricky Powell?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yama! Yeah, my name's Ricky Powell, or Bundara Wagana Wallan Mullion, my tribal name. I won't go into too much about where I'm from and everything, but it's about, because I don't really, it doesn't matter about where we come from or where we're going, it's what we're doing right here, right now.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, look, before I start, I just want to do a spiritual prayer, to our spirits and people of this land. So spirits and knowledge holders and traditional owners, we are humble here on your sacred tribal lands to be guided through a journey of respect and righteousness of our ever-present future that has evolved from injustices in the past that are beyond our control. So give us your spirit of discernment and permission of your wisdom through hindsight, insight, foresight, patience and relevance to be influential in what we're able to control in the near future as unified people within a harmonious society. We give you our day and what to say and come to our dreams at night and make things right. I want to honour also, where we are, amazing people that fought for who we are as Aboriginal people, Pemuoy and Windradine. So Pemuoy and Windradine, two warrior spirits entwined, combined, defending the passage to the last frontier, spiritual, physical warfare, gun against spear. Emotions and blood become as one to be, the left hand and right hand of Miami. Campfires and songlines for thousands of years, our sacred culture is alive and here. As first sovereign people of this land, protecting our future's inheritance. Our native language filled the night, ceremony and dance by firelight. Clapsticks echo to the Yidika drone. The dust settles on tribal home. It's time to restore natural law like it was before. Time to restore natural law because we can't live lies no more. Because we're living proof of the truth. We can't live lies no more. Values, morals, honour, respect, peace and wisdom and nothing less. Ochred bodies, shadows cast, spiritual smoke to cleanse the past. We listened for understanding and not just to reply. The blueprint of belief between ocean and sky. Dream and tracks and songlines, our living proof. The veins and heartland, the flowing truth. Our future history is not a mystery when we change the current chemistry. So it's time to restore natural law because we can't live lies no more. With unconditional love, when push comes to shove, time to restore natural law. We can't live lies no more. All right, so this is a song that I wrote called When a Raindrop Becomes a River. Look, and it pretty much sums it up for all of us. When I look at a raindrop, it's clean and it's clear. And when I look out at you, I see lots of raindrops coming together. So this is a song that I wrote called When a Raindrop Becomes a River, It Flows to the Sea. So walk with me, talk with me. Walk with me, talk with me. Let the journey begin. Share with me, care with me. Let's go places we've never been. 'Cause when a raindrop becomes a river, it'll flow to the sea. Carves out a journey so powerful and free. When we flow and go together, we can see where we've been. And a raindrop becomes a river again. So let's move ahead, put things to bed, and you'll be amazed what we achieve when we believe that our journey can change. 'Cause when a raindrop becomes a river, it'll flow to the sea. Carves out a journey so powerful and free. When we flow and go together, we can see where we've been. And a raindrop becomes a river again. So let's dance in the rain and heal the pain until it's all clear. 'Cause every storm will soon be gone and rainbows will appear. 'Cause when a raindrop becomes a river, it'll flow to the sea. Carves out a journey so powerful and free. When we flow and go together, we can see where we've been. With unconditional love. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. Our Mother Earth we share, so show her that we care with unconditional love. I want you to sing that bit with me. With unconditional love. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks very much, Ricky. Now we need a few more. I actually need a few more vote no posters down the front here. If you're, we want to be able to look out and see the vote no. If you're up the back, yeah, that's it. If you've got a vote no, we'd love you to come down the front and just make a bit of space for those making the message clear. We really, really appreciate it. Our next, okay. All right, a couple of words. Go ahead, sir. We've got time for a couple of words. I'm on a strict limit of 2 minutes each, but take it away, brother.
For those who don't know me, I've been in the political arena with no ties to any political party. My name is Kevin Buda. I'm a tribal elder of 4 moieties up on the Northern Rivers, and we have concerns about having my voice usurped by the Yes campaign. Tribal voices are not meant to be put in boxes, not a political box. Tribal voices have their places on their own tribal land. And that every tribal elder in this country is about to have his voice taken away, and I will not have it, because I will not be stripped of my rights as a tribal elder and a spirit voice for my people. say yes, we're damned. If we say no, we're damned. The insult that Mr. Albanese has caused the elders of all the tribal systems across this country is that he expects us to break our own laws, tribal laws, on our own country by walking off it, giving our voices up, and not caring about the land that we belong to. And that belongs to me. Mr. Albanese, whether you know it or not, you are giving the original peoples of this country enough evidence to take you into the international crime courts for ethnic cleansing, forced bondage, fraudulent conveyance of a legal process. There is no human decency or good consciousness in what you do to the original peoples in this country. We are people who are living in complete poverty. We don't live on the fringes of it. We are in poverty. We live with the company that accompanies the poverty. That's violence, over-representation in the jail systems, courthouses, lack of housing. And you wonder why the Australian citizens have been given a fraudulent conveyance of who we are as a race and what we live with daily. Poverty has company. It has starvation. It has fear of being housed. It has fear of our children being picked up and ending up in death in a custody matter. These are the fears that we live with as a race of people who constantly have been living for over 150 years in systemic poverty. And you want to now take my voice? No! 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 No to this atrocity! No to this human rights violation that has been done by the federal government.
A lot of reasons to vote no. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Mihalik came to prominence because she stood up for her constituents at a time when her party was wanting to push them down. And she found herself caught between a rock and a hard place. And she was told just to go quietly, just to pipe down, not to make a fuss, and to go with the flow. But Tanya Mihalik was not going to go with the flow. And she realised the fundamental flaw of this kind of two-party system, which is really a one-party system telling all Australians to go with the flow. Well, Tanya Mihalik, Pauline Hanson's One Nation member of the New South Wales Upper House, is here today because she's not going with the flow. She's saying no. Welcome, Tanya Mihalik.
Thanks, Ross. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having the courage to be here today. Today is a very significant occasion because it's the start of a very big fight that we have for the next couple of weeks to make sure that we send a very strong message to our families, to our friends, to our neighbours, to our colleagues, to everybody that we see on the streets in the next couple of weeks that we need to vote no. We need to save Australia, and I want to thank everybody that's been part of the organising of today because it's so important. My family arrived here in 1959 and 1960. They migrated and ran away from communist countries. They came to Australia for a better life, for better opportunities. They don't want to be part of a segregated society. And what's been proposed here today by Albanese and the extreme left in Australia is a divisive referendum, a two-tier race system, and we have to say no. We have to do this for our children, for our children's children as well. We need to do this for the future of our country. I'm proud now to stand part of Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party, because for the first time in my political life, I can say what I think. I can speak my mind, and I know I need to fight for Australia, and each of you are fighting for Australia as well, and I thank you so much for that. This week I moved a motion in Parliament to actually save Australia Day on January 26th, and I know not everybody agrees with that, but I do. I love Australia Day, I love our Australian flag, and I love our Australian anthem. I'm proud to be Australian, and we all need to be back to being proud to be Australian as well. We are the lucky country. Do people remember that? We're actually the lucky country. We're the envy of the world. That's why people come here and migrate to Australia each and every year, because they want to be part of a lucky country. Let's keep it the lucky country. Let's keep it the lucky country. To our brothers and sisters, our Indigenous brothers and sisters, I say this. I want you to prosper as well. We need to get your kids out of incarceration. We need to get your kids out of care and back to the family home. That's what Aboriginal Australians need. They need proper opportunities. This voice is not that, okay? It's for the elite. The socialist left elite. They're the only people that will benefit if this referendum ends up being successful. So I ask each and every one of you to fight hard in the next couple of weeks. Be courageous and strong and fight for the country that we all love, and that is Australia. Thank you, everybody. Vote no, October 14th.
Dean, are you ready? The ever ready Dean McKim, just while we get our next video ready, TNT Radio, Dean McKim.
All right, we're going to very shortly do a cross to Senator Malcolm Roberts. And one more time, because I don't think Albo heard us. 1, 2, 3. And I think we should do another hell no. 1, 2, 3. Hell no. All right, I want you to do something. I've got a bit of an exercise for you. I want you all to look around, look behind you to your side. I want you to find somebody that you've never met before in your life. I want you to reach out, shake their hand, tell you their name. You do the same. Because that's what we're here for today, is it not? Unity. We're not going to let this government divide us. We're certainly not going to let them do it by race, by creed, by religion. We're going to stand as one. And who are we doing this for ultimately, if not all of our children? Are they not the people that we are most concerned with, and the legacy that we leave with them? And that's why we're here today, to act as one, to think as one, and to vote no as one. Because at the end of the day, have a look at the people who are behind all of this. I mean, it's a bunch of communists there. They have not consulted. I've got so many Indigenous friends. And I'm like, the people that you look to, who you consider to be your traditional leaders, have they consulted any of those people? And it's a resounding no. They've picked people. I mean, we'd love to see someone like Warren Mundine, if this was to get up, which is highly unlikely, by the way. And by the way, when we talk about numbers, before I get sidetracked, you know, they're telling us it's kind of close. You know, the No campaign's probably got it, but it's kind of close. Has anybody been onto news.com.au? And I don't go on there for news, ever, but I do go on there for their polls, because their polls are very good, because we all have access to them. 110,000 plus respondents, and it was 86% no, 9% yes, with 5% undecided. Now, I'm not saying that's the right number, but I'm also going to tell you I don't think that the right number is, you know, 44, 56 or anything like that. So at the end of the day, the only thing that I am concerned about is, you know, this thing being fair. I hate postal votes. Hand up if you hate postal votes. If you think the postal vote system is absolutely open to being rorted. Here we are, 2023. What do you do with the government that doesn't involve a computer, a QR code, a barcode? And here they are when it comes to the most significant change to our constitution, to our access to our most sacred legal how your vote got counted, it really is something that we have to worry about. But that's something else that we need to say no to, and that's postal voting moving forward. Because this country, all we want is a better future for all of our kids. I think that we could say yes to. But one more time, let's do one more big hell no on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to hand it back. No, well, hell yeah to the hell no. All right. Ross is going to introduce.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're grateful. We've had great support from the New South Wales Police today, and it's a different moment, a different time. And thank you to the police who have turned out today, and they've been helping us. The freedom movement's had a difficult relationship in some ways with the police, because indeed the police have been asked to do things by the politicians that we don't think the police should have been asked to do. And we've got now a former 29-year officer of the New South Wales Police, Roland Crystal, but he was one of those blokes who said, well, I don't think that's the duty of a police officer to stand over the citizens. And he found himself in increasing difficulty to the point where he had to leave and find something else to do. But those who are standing up for the citizens, being prepared to make career sacrifices, making hard choices, they're the ones we love the most. So please welcome Roland Crystal.
Thanks very much. It's wonderful to see you all here today. You know, a little while ago on social media, I made a post that I wanted to report a significant theft that had affected just about all of society. And it's a theft that a police officer is reporting to you. And I wonder if you know what that theft is. Because so much has been taken from us. They take from us at every opportunity. Multiple times, again and again, what they give back. Great crimes. But the theft I tell you about that is so important is the theft of the journey. See, when I was younger, when most of you were younger, when we went to buy something from the shop, a record.
Rush Ken? Hey man, how are you? All right. Oh, that's good.
We had to go to the other record store or place an order. And once we had that music in our hand, we couldn't listen to it. It was a journey. There's no journey today because all of our youth have been given the destination. Instant gratification. But why does that matter? Why do I have to report that theft to you? I'll tell you why it matters. Because the journey is where we build resilience, empathy, courage, depth of spirit. You all here are on the journey. You're here on the journey with me. And I congratulate you for that. Because that journey is where we come together, we build our communities, we build empathy, courage and knowledge. But so much has been taken from our youth because it's just been given this destination, and so often the destination is a letdown, it's a disappointment, and the destination means nothing without the journey. And so here we are on this journey, and it's proving to be a long and tiresome one for many of us. It's been going on now for years, and we're looking for an end to this journey, but for those of us who know, the playbook is long. There are many pages, and this is just...
Hey guys, Rukshan here. Thanks for joining me for this live stream. Coming to you from Sydney, here in Hyde Park for Worldwide Freedom Rally.
Why am I voting no?
Just giving you some shots of around the crowd.
Because I've done my independent research. And because I know that you don't propose a major change to the Constitution, but keep the details hidden. But beyond that, I'm also voting no because when you look at what this country's leadership has told us in the last 3 years, and you look at their track record, how could you possibly trust anything that comes from that establishment. The greatest threat to us in this freedom movement is division. Everything they do is designed to divide us. Be it black against white, be it one political party against another. They will introduce agendas. The best way to control your opposition is to join them and then only take them so far. So what we need to do is we need to concentrate on being united, not succumb to the narrative of division. Yes, there are differences of opinion within the freedom movement. There are different avenues, but we're all heading for the same thing. And the only way we do that, as Uncle Bruce said, is we walk this walk together. Now that walk has to include our brothers and sisters in blue. And we've seen some hard stuff over the last 3 years. In relation to the way police have dealt with some members of the community, and it's not all police. I've said this before, where the police do a good job, I'll commend them. Where they do the wrong thing, I'll be the first to call them out, because I've walked both walks.
Talk to me, mate. What are you running here?
I know what it's like to be a police officer and to believe are concerned with Magna Carta and constitutions and common law. Put all these aside at the moment. What we have is a constabulary.
Yeah, mate.
And they are currently the ones who are presiding over this community. So whether we agree with that or not is not really the point. We need to work within the systems we have, and we need to work to the best of our ability to stay unified.
Why didn't you ever message me back?
And so I commend the police when they do a good job, and today they are holding a space for us, and I thank them for that.
You were like, I'm like, yeah, I'll come. Here's my number.
But just like you and I have no doubt that they will be called upon again to overstep the line, to support government overreach. And for each and every police officer that's here, and every police officer who gets to listen to my message, I implore you to remember the reason you joined. To understand that you do not have to win at any cost. To understand that you are there to uphold the rights and freedoms of citizens.
Guys, if you guys want to see a better Rukshan, this is the man. Looks better, actually fit. I know Rukshan's lost weight lately, but I've been training him. Vote no to Rukshan.
Based on their conduct. The people only consent to being police because they see authority being exercised responsibly. When it's not exercised responsibly, they consent and they no longer be there. That'll make policing a very, very difficult, very dangerous job. I still believe police would. Police numbers are down for various reasons, chronic levels. And there are reasons for that, internally and externally. But I just implore our police, whoever listens to this message Australia-wide, you shop in the same shops, your kids go to the same schools. Be mindful that you are part of the community, you are police. And they allow you to police the community because they consent to it. And that consent is based on reasonable conduct on your behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it at that, but just let me remind you that no matter how dark a place is, you carry one light into that darkness.
We get to talk to you yet?
Everyone can navigate through the darkness with just one candle. Right? And I've always encouraged you to find a faith and a biblical faith, because so many people in this movement know that this is a spiritual battle. And so I give this whole movement over to the power of our ever-loving and eternally forgiving God. And that window that we have, that window that so many of our people in our community seem to be relying upon, that ignorance is bliss, that window is closing. And we cannot find easy political answers to spiritual problems. And while we still need to work with the judiciary, with the courts, with trying to rectify all the problems we have, the answer lies in faith, because only God can bring answers to a spiritual problem. So I encourage you to walk in faith. God bless you and God bless our nation.
Roland, just before you go, I've got one question for you. I didn't even really want to have to ask this question, but is spitting an offence?
Well, is spitting an offence? If you're talking about spitting at someone, most certainly. It's not only a disgusting conduct, but it is a criminal offence. It is assault.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Roland Crystal, upholding the law. We're going to show you a video in just a second. Before we do, the brothers probably need to go and have a sit down. Bruce Shillingsworth, have you got a final word for us before you take the corroboree away?
All right. Yami mob. I'm just going to be short and brief. Acknowledging brother that just spoke before. I want to say you really need to sit and think, what are you voting for? Who are you voting for? My people have come over 1,000 kilometres today to show you that we don't agree with this current agenda or referendum. That should be enough for you to make a decision. Budgety, Murawari people alongside Ngunnawal, Wiradjuri, other nations have come here today. I've gone to the Yes campaign. I have not seen any culture as a part of that Yes campaign. But yet here we are today showing you that we don't agree. That should be enough for you to make a decision. The other thing, the other reason why we're here is that there needs to be a lot of nation building. We know this. You have to also acknowledge that these agendas that are set by this very establishment, which is the words that are used early on, we have to stop being sidetracked. When we talk about nation building, that means we have to sit down with one another. We have to talk with one another. We have to break bread with one another. That is what is taking us away from being able to do that. So I want you to go home today, usually marches, protests and rallies. You come and you get involved and you go home and you get caught up back in the rat race, which is where the establishment wants all you mob. But we need to go home this afternoon and really take a good hard look within ourselves. Don't look at others. Don't turn on mainstream media. Go home, sit down, look within yourself. Ring your family, ring your friends, have those conversations around how do we start building a nation. Nation building should not come at the dispossession, oppression and the genocide of the next people. It's about how do we live in harmony, how do we live in peace, how do we respect one another. That should be our goal. Not worrying about what this establishment has installed or trying to keep control of us. So, as Budgety Murawari people, we say we are sovereign, which is the reason we say no to this upcoming referendum. Thank you, Mob.
Well, look, I'm going to show you a video with a little bit of reluctance, because this is a family gathering, you know. We prefer to look at the positive rather than to focus on the negative. But if you said to me, you know, we talk about the problems of remote Aboriginal people in the Western Desert, Western New South Wales and elsewhere. But if you flip that coin and say, well, what would be, you could ask yourself, what's the most remote place in Australia? And it might be somewhere like Kintor, you know, 400 kilometres west of Alice Springs, or somewhere in the Western Desert. But if you flip that coin and say, well, what would be the place in Australia that is most remote from the problems of Aboriginal Australia? It'd be an interesting question, you know. It might be Glebe in New South Wales and Sydney. But I believe if you ask, what is the culture which is most remote from the problems of Aboriginal Australia, which is most indifferent, which is least interested in actually changing the quality of people's lives, that place would be Canberra.
Yes!
And the truth is, having failed to actually improve day-to-day quality of drinking water, we now get the so-called national leadership in Canberra, you know, riding their electric bikes along roads paved with gold, in and out of massive government bureaucracies, and they're the ones who tell us they've got a new solution to the problem. And what we find in this, you know, I asked the former constable, you know, is spitting an offence. And what we find is if we go to Canberra, into the absolute heart, to a professor from Australian National University, well, the universities are the places that are meant to be keeping alive different opinions and the right to freedom of speech, and when confronted with a conviction no voter, this is how a professor of Australian National University in Canberra reacted. Look, I think it's enough. You know, you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. The idea, I mean, I reckon your average child in primary school in Western Sydney's been taught how to behave much better than a professor at the Australian National University. But I think it is somehow emblematic of the attitude of those who say, if you don't agree with me, you deserve to be spat on. Well, we think since the bloke who actually suffered the golly is here today, he was in the line of fire, Andrew Thaler, the spittee, the recipient of this present from ANU. Please welcome Andrew Thaler.
Golly. Yeah, g'day, I'm Andrew Thaler. I'm actually from a small village called Nimittabel down in Spilma. And yes, you could see it on the video on the big screen. But let's not forget the best thing that the left do when confronted with reality and a truth, they lie. Yeah. I did not spit on him. Yeah. The old Bill Clinton excuse.
Yes! I did not.
So I've come with my family today and we are excited to be here. We actually thank you for coming out as well. It's a beautiful day. I've made notes to try and keep my time very, very short. We're here because our government wants to change our constitution. And let's remember that a constitution is to limit power, not to grant power.
Exactly.
And that's the key. That is the key to it all. The Constitution limits power. And with regards to Emeritus Professor Denise Ferris, I am now pleased to tell you that she is ex-Professor Denise Ferris. One of the big things that those on the left are very good at doing, it's cancelling things. Cancel culture. Denise has been cancelled. Now, they may spit on us, but they are actually spitting on our Constitution. And we are here to say no to both. The no's, the no voters, us, we are good people.
Yes.
We are also very good at protesting.
Yes.
So many of the faces here in the crowd, they've been in all the protests, all of the barricades. We've walked the streets. Arnie Glenda and I have seen each other so many times down in Canberra. We are good at this. And I think the police worked that out, so they're going to stand back. I've had a chat to them. They're happy with us being here today. Again, thank you. We are better than the yes people. I'm also going to shout out to David McBride, Richard Boyle, let's free Julian Assange. because they are the people that told us the truth and held the candle to power. And that wasn't what the government wanted, but that's what we want. And Aussie Cossack, I wish Aussie Cossack was here today. I really wished it. And I'll get some criticism from people back home saying, why are you friends with him? It's because he's a bloody good bloke. So, this is for you, Aussie. We wish you were here. We'll enjoy your barbecue for you. Democracy is inclusion. Democracy is tolerance. Democracy is a divided opinion. And that's the point. It's that you argue your point, and whoever argues best wins. That's why we have parliaments just up the road here and in Canberra. We don't have to hate each other. You have a chamber, you have a debate, and you have a show of hands, and then you count the numbers. We need better ears, not more voices. We've all got voices. The Constitution is 120 years old, roughly. It's an analogue document in a digital world, and yet it still works. And how many people are going back to valve technology for your amplifiers and your radios at home? All right? It's an analogue document in a digital world, and it works well. Let's not muck around with it. I'm going to leave those opinions with you there. I'm going to also say thank you to John Roddick, the Liberal Democrats. I keep crossing paths with them. Thank you to Ross. Thank you for inviting me up to Sydney. And keep your eye on the Aussie Cossack channel and mine during the week, because whilst I was spat on, I was also hit and physically assaulted by another male Yes protester, and I'm pretty sure that video will make its way out this week after he's been charged with assault. And I'll close on this. Takes a lot more than a few hits and a spit to take me down. I'm voting no. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Well, look, I did mention that I think the kids of Western Sydney are better behaved than the professors of the Australian National University. And as a former member for Parramatta, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to Western Sydney, because when the sort of elites, if you like, of Glebe and Chippendale and Darlinghurst and those sort of wandering in and out of Macquarie Street, when they all just immediately collapsed like a deck of cards in front of lockdown and mandatory injections, it was the kids, the mums and dads of Western Sydney who stood up and said, you know what, we're not taking this. We are going to push back. And so all of those in these inner urban centres, we just want to say thank you to those who were prepared to come out and those who are educating their kids in a more traditional way that says we ought to show respect to one another, and especially to those who disagree with us. But one of the other champions of the freedom movement is Dave O'Neiga. He's been up to his eyeballs every time freedom is at risk. Dave is there. Please welcome Dave O'Neiga.
Hey folks, that's Dave O'Neig's. Make some noise, Sydney! Come on, Sydney, make some noise! For those of you who don't know, Sydney is my hometown, and this is a very, very, very important occasion. But before we kick off, can we just all make an agreement that we end all the division in the freedom community? Can we make that agreement? Yes! Can you please give someone a hug that you don't know real quick? Give someone you don't know a quick hug. You've got me. All right, guys. We need to keep the lights on, yeah?
What are you voting?
Now,
Yes or no?
I've just realised something.
Vote no.
Well done. The last couple of days. You might have seen it too. All the same so-called celebrities who promoted the jabs happen to be promoting the yes. Who's seen that? Yes. Listen to this list I looked at. Jimmy Barnes, he was promoting the jabs, promoting the yes. Magda Zabansky promoted the jabs, promoted the yes. Adam Goods promoted the jabs, promoted the yes. Celeste Barber promotes the jabs, promotes the yes? Ernie Dingo. Ernie Dingo promotes the jabs, promotes the yes. Paul Kelly, Peter Garrett and Midnight Oil all promoted the jabs, promote the yes. I don't know if they're being paid, folks. We don't know. But guess who else is promoting the yes? Pfizer. Pfizer, Big Pharma are promoting the yes. You can't make it up. And what I want to tell you is this, folks. I don't know anyone who's promoting the no who's getting paid. I'll tell you that much. Give it up, folks. All the people promoting the no are speaking up to the people like us. Now, this Albanese government don't know that the tribal people here are the sovereign people of this land, because first in time is first in law. And they know with this referendum they plan to make a contract, and they plan to steal that sovereignty forever. And that will be opening the door to the UN and the rest of the globalists who want this nation. Now, are we going to let that happen? I can't hear you. Are we going to let that happen? Awesome, guys. Now, imagine thinking the same people who just brutalised the Indigenous for so long now suddenly want to help. Imagine thinking the same goons who just rolled out a deadly and unsafe injection now suddenly want to help. These are the same people who have been making life very, very bad for all Australians with their medical madness and handing over the Commonwealth to big pharmaceutical companies.
Who are you?
They've been destroying Australia for all this time, and they cannot be trusted to help or fix a single thing in this great nation. The healing and the hope for the original people will never come from a corrupt corporation that only seeks to expand its power by further divide and conquer strategies. But the healing will come from the grassroots of the people like us. That's where it's going to happen, folks. Give it up, make some noise. Here's the thing. The original people, they are a sacred people. And they are the custodians. They've been the custodians of this land for hundreds of thousands of years. And they hold the key to protecting us all from the evils of globalism. So we must protect them from contracting with the corporation. True? We must protect them from this monstrous machine of the new world order that seeks to enslave us all. So it does not matter what this government puts forward. We say no to all of it, because everything they do is a lie, a deception and a fraud. We say no to this referendum because everything they say and everything they do is in the interests of big business and never in the interests of we the people. All right, folks, this is the audience participation part. I'm going to make a statement, and at the top of your lungs, you're going to say, "We say no." Got it? All right, get ready. To censorship in Australia. To medical apartheid in Australia.
We say no.
To a cashless society in Australia.
We say no.
To the exploitation of Aussie kids.
We say no.
To the normalisation of pedophilia.
We say no.
Come on, folks, let's make some noise. To the funding of the war in Ukraine.
We say no.
To climate taxes and climate lockdowns.
We say no.
To the World Economic Forum.
We say no.
To the World Health Organization.
We say no.
This referendum is a con job, so
we say no.
This referendum is a lie.
We say no.
This referendum spells communism, so
we say no.
Beautiful folks. Give yourself a round of applause, Sydney. What we do say is we stand as one Australian people. black or white, or brown or yellow. From all the lands of the earth we come. We say yes to ending the division. We say yes to finally healing the wounds of the past. And we say yes to an Australia that serves the best interests of we, the people. Stay strong, Sydney. Never surrender. God bless you all. Thank you for the privilege. Love you all. Bye for now.
Thanks, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned we got somebody collecting for what Arnie Rose for Budgie Mulwari. She's collecting for to
Australia first.
A culture camp on October 21st. There you go, a free plug for Arnie Rose. Now, Steve Christou is a councillor of Cumberland Council. I mentioned to you how Western Sydney came to the rescue. The last time our freedom was under threat, pushed back, gave the strongest signal that we won't put up with lockdown. Steve was one of those who, when everybody else was going silent, when the whole of local government just capitulated and cooperated, Steve was one of the few who stood up and spoke up. He's voting no. Please welcome Councillor Steve Christou.
Thank you, everybody. It's great to be out here supporting this cause, and the reason I'm here is because I stand hand in hand, side by side with our Indigenous brothers and sisters, because we want equality. We don't want to be divided as a nation. Now, when I look out into the crowd, I see many different faces, many different cultures, and that's what Australia is all about. Our great-grandfathers, grandmothers, our grandparents, mothers and fathers, they came out here from many different countries. The Lebanese, the Serbians, the Italians, the Greeks, the Croatians, and the English, the Irish, the Scottish, Filipino, Chinese. They all came to this country and contributed to make it great and what it is today. They work 6-7 days a week in factories, on construction sites. They ran small businesses, milk bars. They didn't know what a day off was. Many of them died on the job. And to now have a government turn around and tell these people that they don't get a voice, and they're going to create a two-class system where some people are going to be classed above others, I say no, and we should be saying no. You know, it's funny that in a cost of living crisis where we've got people struggling to pay the mortgage, the rent, the bills, and put food on the table to feed their children, our government's main priority is to create a divisive voice to Parliament and divide the nation. And it's not on. They should be stop wasting their money and spend the hundreds of millions of dollars for actual campaigns on how to help the Australian people, on how to put food on the table, and how to alleviate some of the cost of living measures that everybody out here and most of Australians are facing. And the voice of Parliament is not going to create a rat's ass of a difference to the Indigenous people of Australia. It's not going to stop deaths in custody. It's not going to stop domestic violence. And it's not going to stop child abuse that is occurring, because it takes a real effort and a real desire, and it needs not lazy politicians to go in to these Indigenous communities and actually give it a go and help these people. So I say no to the voice, stand with our Indigenous Australians, give them an actual voice at the table and tell them what do our communities need. Say no to Albanese and his woke agenda that has no interest in the Australian people or the actual Indigenous communities doing it tough. Thank you very much. God bless. Vote no.
Hell no. Hell no. We should do hell no's over there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've been very patient. We're getting towards the end. We've got the benefit, the bookend, the very end. Yeah, we're coming up to the big strong man at the back end of the campaign. We're going to have a final tune after this. But ladies and gentlemen, I think he's going to be our final speaker. Craig Kelly, the champion of Freedom United Australia Party.
Thanks, Roscoe, and thank you everyone for turning up today. It's not easy sometimes when you've got all the woke crowd on your back, so thank you for coming. Now firstly, some good news. Last week, Wednesday, we took the EAC, the Australian Election Commission, to court because we said that you cannot have different rules for ticks and crosses. If a tick is informal, you cannot rule the same thing across being a formal vote and vice versa. Unfortunately, we lost that case in the federal court. But I can announce today, within the next 48 hours, the United Australia Party will be appealing that decision. We are not going to allow the AEC to gerrymander this referendum by treating crosses and ticks differently. Now, 4 years ago, when I first heard about this Uluru Statement and the prospect of a voice, for me it was a simple principle. We all must be equal under our Constitution. And the proposal that separates us, enshrining that separation in our Constitution, separates the division that we must get over as a nation. I'm sure everybody here has the same goal for our country. They want to see a nation that is colourblind, that treats every young kid based upon their merits, their skills and their endeavours, rather than their ethnic or racial background. That is the type of society we are fighting for. We want to send the message to all those little Aboriginal boys and girls that were here today, that they live in the greatest country in the world. And if they work hard, if they study hard, if they train hard, that they can achieve whatever they want to in this great country. Now the no vote, when we win in a couple of weeks, is going to be a great moment of celebration for this nation. Just look at the forces that we are up against. Never before have we been up against such institutional forces. We've got the political parties here in New South Wales, the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, the Greens and the Teals, all on the yes side. We've got the big banks, all on the yes side. We've got Coles, we've got Woolworths, we've got BHP and Qantas, all on the yes side. And we've even got the big pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, voting for yes and pushing the yes case. But lined up against that, we've got a small group of dedicated, patriotic Australians that are proud enough to stand up and to say no. And when we do win, this will restore much of the lost credibility that our nation has had. It was so badly damaged during COVID. We will show that we are a nation of fair-minded thinkers, sceptical, no-nonsense people that will not be influenced by B-grade celebrities. So let's go forward, let's get out, let's keep spreading that no voice out until the referendum, and let's celebrate when we win in 2 weeks' time. Thanks very much.
We've got one final tune which we think is appropriate for this moment. Take it away.
Let's go!
much, ladies and gentlemen. There's a pile of food, barbecue up the back. If you feel like a snag, feel free. Thanks so much for coming out to express your voice. We go in peace. We hate division. We love the fact that we are one nation. We intend to remain undivided. Right now, go well and God bless you.
Hey guys, Rukshan here. Hope you guys can hear me. Bit of drama here. Guru and his supporters are here and they want to let him speak. They're asking for him to speak. This contingent's been here throughout with this megaphone screaming, "Let the people speak."
Love your work, bro.
Thanks, brother.
Love your work.
Thanks, man. So it's a very peaceful event. Only bit of drama is now that we're seeing. Let's go have a look what's going on.
They get well, it's up on
Hey bro, good to see you, man.
people were here, came here to hear it. You want to get in there? Jump in there, mate. Sorry, Bush Guard's coming through. Bush Guard's coming through. You want to get follow his channel? A real Bush Guard? We want you! We want you! Let the people speak. 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 Let the people
Sorry, mate.
He was in Canberra on everybody's side. What the hell is he doing here with these guys?
What is it you guys don't understand? It's pretty fucking clear.
They've had an opportunity to speak as much as they want.
They played all hands now. And fucking gave it to him and then said a private way.
So I'll just go around, guys, give you some shots of the crowd and what's happening around here. Thanks guys for joining on today. I'm going to switch the live stream off now because the music's playing. Hello, how are you? Thanks everyone for watching. I might come back on live later on. Take care. Thanks brother.